A 31-year-old Zandile, she's from South Africa, she became the first ever South African black woman to become a freediving instructor. Now, freediving is definitely a big deal because freediving is diving deep into the oceans but without any oxygen support. So you've got to hold your breath and deep dive. But that's not the reason why we're talking about Zandile today. The reason why we're talking about Zandile is because no other African woman has ever ventured into the oceans like this. For many generations, whites and blacks have not had the same access to oceans, and her foray into diving has inspired many blacks to believe that the oceans are not just for people of one skin color. Hi, you're listening to What's New Today, a kids and family podcast about current events shaping our world. This is your host Sangeeta from India, and in this episode, I'm joined by.
Hello, I am Sneha Shetty. I am in 4th standard. I love reading. I live in Mumbai.
Hi, my name is Naira. I'm 9 years old. I study in grade 3. I'm very fond of current events and I love reading.
Hi, Smyan. Hi, Naira. Welcome back on this podcast channel. And I'm really excited to chat about this person, Zandile, as part of our People of the Year 2023 series. I've got a question for Smyan because I know, Smyan, you've read nothing about this person, right? But Smyan, you have seen Olympic runners and Olympic swimmers?
Yeah.
Okay. Take a wild guess based on whatever you have heard of or read about or seen on TV or YouTube. If I were to tell you that there is one white runner, white means I'm talking about a white skin type person, and there's a black runner, somebody say of an African origin, maybe. Is there a reason to believe one of them might run faster or better?
Not really.
Not really, right? Okay. Now, if I were to tell you that there is a black swimmer and there is a white swimmer, is there a reason to believe that any one of them might swim faster or better?
No.
No, right? Okay. Naira, what do you think?
No, I don't think so because it doesn't actually depend on your skin color, rather your strength and uh, your your practice and all of that rather than your skin color. What does your skin do? It just covers your bones and muscles.
That's true. What does your skin do? That's about all it does. Yet, there is so much difference in the world. You might all be shocked by some of the things that we're going to be discovering and speaking about in this episode. If I were to tell you that in the United States, most white children learn to swim and most black children do not learn to swim, would you be shocked?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was I was pretty shocked on reading that article which you
Yeah.
sent me.
Yeah, it was shocking to me too. This was the first time even I was coming across this fact. I believe this is true even in the United Kingdom. Second piece of info that I'm going to share with y'all. Tell me how shocked y'all are. In the country, South Africa, until a few years ago, the beaches used to be segregated. Only certain beaches were open to the black people. The clean beaches, the long stretches of beaches, most of the beaches where you can really go take a good swim, have a good time, were open exclusively to white people. So the black people have rarely had access to the ocean and the beaches until just a few years ago. How shocked are you?
But isn't that unfair?
Mighty unfair. It used to go by the word apartheid. Apartheid means not giving equal access to opportunities and resources based on your skin color. That aside, yes, of course it is unjust. Of course it is unfair. But this was the truth there. Now, I'll give you a third piece of information. It is not just in South Africa. Now, the continent of Africa has a lot of countries, right?
Yeah.
Most black people in most of these African countries do not venture into the oceans bravely. I can't say all, I'm just saying most. They do not think Swimming, deep sea diving, free diving, scuba diving, any of these, or even snorkeling is for them. I think now apartheid is over. So now beaches are open to both the blacks and the whites. But in the past, for so many centuries, because the blacks have not had access to the oceans, the clean water, they've rarely ever ventured into that part of the world, which is two-thirds of the planet Earth. Remember, they've really not ventured into those parts of the world. I too was shocked when I read about this. Naira, you have read about Zandile. Tell us what you found very inspiring about her story.
In every article I read, I found this one line that Zandile had said. She was expressing that I was the only black person on the boat of that snorkeling trip. So all others were white. I was that only black person. And second, all the people on the boat were asking her that she had very long hair. It came to her thighs, and everybody was asking, telling her that, what are you going to do with all that hair? You should tie it up. You cannot go snorkeling like that, and stuff like that. But she did not care about any of those. She wanted to know what the underwater life is like.
Wow. Yeah, she thought like that because a lot of her family members apparently would tell her, why do you want to go and do white people things? Because according to them, going snorkeling or going swimming in the ocean or diving into the oceans and exploring the corals and swimming along with the fishes and the whales and the dolphins, this was not something that black people did because they had always been terrified of the ocean. They had been terrified of drowning. They never wanted to venture anywhere near the oceans. But Zande, what she's done is now she's set up something called
Black Mermaid Foundation.
Yeah, a Black Mermaid Foundation. I found the name very adorable and relevant. She has set up something called a Black Mermaid Foundation. She's encouraging a lot of people of Black origin to go ahead, explore water. Water is not something for us to be terrified of, and the oceans are really, really beautiful. All of us should have equal access to the oceans and the water. But yeah, here's a little piece of history. Now, before I tell you this piece of history, let me see if y'all are able to divine the history yourself. I'll give you some hints, okay? I'll give you a few words. It's racism, segregation, and swimming pools. Can you guess what must have happened in the United States earlier?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, the three words are racism, segregation, swimming pools.
I don't know what is the answer.
Do you know what the word segregation means?
When there is a jumble of people or things, you separate them into you sort them out in groups.
Yeah, absolutely. You've now understood what segregation is. I've used a word called racism. Do you know what that word means?
Competitive.
Racism is not racing. I'll give you a hint. Racism is about races, the skin color races.
The different kinds of skin colored people, when they discriminate, that is called racism.
Yes. So now we know what racism means, and we also know what segregation means. Now
Yes.
connect these two words with swimming pools. Can you come up with a story of what people might have done in the United States?
I think they might have not allowed the black people to swim and only have
The
allowed the white people to
swimming
go swim.
pools. Yeah.
Yes. There used to be a lot of segregation in swimming pools. So they did it in many different ways. Communities where there were public swimming pools. So you'll have more public swimming pools in neighborhoods where the whites lived and hardly any where the blacks lived. Or they may have allocated more money and resources towards maintenance. And, the ones that the white people swam in used to be very clean and well kept. And The ones that were there in the blacks did not get enough money, so they probably went into disrepair and disorder very quickly. And for a lot of black kids in the US, access to swimming pools, access to swimming classes never came with the same ease that it came, that white children had. Have you both learned swimming?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we would have never dreamt that in the swimming pool you would only find people of a certain skin color. Would we have?
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't have ever dreamt about that.
Yeah. Keeping in mind that generations of blacks have never ventured near the oceans. What Zandile has done, isn't that really inspiring?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. There's one story about how Zandile discovered her love for the oceans. Naira, can you share that story with us?
It all starts in 2016. So she was going on this snorkeling trip, and then she is just so curious about the life that lives beneath the water. And when she duck dives into it, she swims for a while on the surface. She also thinks that, okay, I am a bit scared. Let me warm up with the surface of the ocean. After that, she takes a little time. She goes a little bit beneath, and after that, when she sees the coral life, she just can't believe it. She's extremely in awe with it. She loved it. So then she realized that, okay, this is going to be my profession. I don't care whether whether I'm a black person or a white person. This can be my profession. I love the corals, all the corals, the fishes. They're amazing. It's like there is a whole life below water life.
Yeah. Fascinating. For those of our listeners that would like to take a look at how Zandile does free diving, I mean, diving into the ocean, holding her breath, and then after maybe about 5-7 minutes, she comes right up to the surface to take her next breath. I'll leave a link to this video in the show notes below. 2023 has been a wonderful year for many people, including Zandile. Personally, for me, this has been a year full of opportunities to speak to a lot of children, all the way from the ages of 8 to 15. I think more than 100 children have featured this year in What's New Today. A huge thanks to all of our listeners. Each time I really pinch myself to see what a wide range of listenership What's New Today has reached. Listeners from over 80 countries join in every week as part of their screen-free entertainment. Can I ask each one of you to do me a small favor? If you have enjoyed listening to What's New Today, can you share a link to any one episode that you really loved? Can you share it with 3 of your friends who you think will also enjoy listening to these episodes and these topics? That would be a lovely gift for me this Christmas. Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I'll see you all in the first week of January 2024. Happy holidays!